Hey everyone, what's going on? It's 2 minutes to review. It's Matt.
And it's Zach.
Longest album review in under 2 minutes wins. Tons of new albums coming out this week. Some very big releases. The newest being the latest from Blink-182. The guys are back.
Yeah, they are. It's going to make you ask yourselves, what's my age again? Because, yep, Tom, Travis, and
How long
Mark,
have you been waiting to say that?
So long. You have no freaking idea. But dare I say, one of the most anticipated comeback albums of 2023. I mean, this time last year, basically, Mark and Travis announced what kind of seemed like the unthinkable, that they are getting back together with Tom after a, I think, 8-year absence. They're finally, the three of them, getting back together after, also, mind you, Mark going through his health problems, thankfully beating cancer. It really seemed kind of like bleak that maybe Blink-182 would ever come back, let alone with Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio, who, as we all know, filled in when Tom decided he didn't want to be in Blink-1 anymore. And, you know, let's be honest, Mark and Travis, they found some moderate success with Matt. Matt, I mean, you and I, we talked about how much California was actually a surprisingly very good album. Mm-hmm. And then if you've heard our review of their last album of Matt, of course, called 9, you'll know that it wasn't so great. And then, of course, the pandemic happened and paused everything. And as I mentioned, Mark went through a cancer battle. And it just kind of seemed bleak. And of course, at that time, Travis Barker was becoming famous in the public eye with his Kardashian connection, but just also kind of the go-to person for being the hottest pop punk producer. Basically, any artist who is trying to dip their feet into pop punk and go, you know what, I really do love this genre and I kind of want to incorporate it into my music. I'm looking at you, Machine Gun Kelly, as well as Willow. They'd go to Travis Barker, so he didn't really need Blink-182. So thankfully, much to the surprise and delight of everyone, in October of 2022, the 3 key members of Blink-182 announced they were getting back together. They released a single called Edging, and they were going on tour, and almost immediately it became the hottest tour of 2023. And it got solidified as the hottest tour when Blink-182 made a surprise appearance at Coachella during the first weekend, and then, of course, the following weekend filling in for Frank Ocean in the headlining set. And that pretty much just solidified that, like, yeah, this is the biggest rock band right now. And, of course, every fan is like, yeah, of course, every big artist was like, I grew up with Blink-182. Of course, I love them. And then last month, they announced finally, after teasing it for so long, yep, we're coming out of an album called One More Time. And here we are. Holy cow, I can't believe we're actually here finally talking about a new Blink-182 album with Tom, Travis, and Mark. I don't know about you, Matt, but I feel like we should just get right into it. But first, a special shout out to Lucky 13 Beard Co.
If you've never heard of Lucky 13, you're missing out on probably one of the best brands of beard balms and oils on the internet right now. Log on to lucky13beardco.com, and they've got something pretty much for everyone. And if you're a Motorhead fan especially, we've got our own beard oil with them called the Lemmy. It smells of bourbon, tobacco, cola, leather, everything that Lemmy was all about in one little bottle. It smells incredible. And we're giving you a chance to get in with Lucky 13 by giving you 10% off of your first order. Put anything in your cart. Use the code EFP10 at checkout. I guarantee you're going to love the way you're going to feel. You're going to smell epic. Hands down, some of the best beard balms and oils on the internet right now. Lucky 13, the number beardcode.com. Use that code EFP10 at checkout.
Fun little fact, speaking of Lemmy and Motorhead, Travis actually has said that the song More Than You Know, the double bass drum in there is actually kind of a blast beat, was actually a little bit influenced by Motorhead. So, you know, just throwing that out there in case anyone out there is like, why are we talking about Motorhead? Shut up. Enjoy the beard oil. Matt,
Zach,
I'm going to surprise you.
You want to go first?
No, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, you want me to go?
I'm going to let you go because I'm a gentleman, damn it. You let me know once you take your pants off and jacket and you're ready. I mean, I prefer you do it first and then go into your review. Don't do it at the same time.
My pants were already off?
Oh, you dirty boy. I'm counting you down.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
So I'm going to come right out and say it that I think that Blink-182 had some major balls releasing More Than You Know, or excuse me, One More Time as one of the lead singles off of this album, because I think it was an extremely personal song. And depending on your take of Blink-182's more serious side, like songs like I Miss You, it really is going to flavor your taste of this album one way or another. I just think for me, this album really is kind of a mix of all the different eras of Blink 182 with no real focus other than I think coming back to the common theme of Mark Hoppus's battle with cancer. A couple songs actually are kind of focused around that type of feeling with One More Time and You Don't Know What You Got. But I think that Blink doing one more album, well, what I'm presuming to be one more album together with the original lineup is a great thing in theory. However, I think it might have been better served as being a bunch of one-off singles that they perform on tour along with like their greatest hits, because this album to me, outside of the main singles that they released and a song like Blink Wave, which is like an 80s kind of synth wave type song, which is really cool, it really kind of just comes off as we're trying to be that young band again, and you're not. And there's so much that these guys have gone through, and they've lived the life. They've had their time. And an album like California really worked great to illustrate that. But being where they are now, I think Blink would have been better served to just be themselves and not try to be this younger version of the band that they keep trying to be over the last couple of albums.
Time is locked. So out of 5 rolling mid-air drum kits, aka stars, what would you give this album?
I'm gonna go with 2.5, and a lot of
That
people are
low?
gonna
Wow.
people are gonna criticize me for this, but I keep like, and this is what's hard about listening to a bunch of really huge albums kind of back to back, right? So we just did a review of the Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds album, and that album all the way through with its different sounds had extreme intense focus, and the band you can just hear was locked in and they were there, and the album reflected that. I felt myself listening to this and just losing not only interest but kind of focus as to where I was, because it just feels like Blink was trying to do at one point something off of like Cheshire Cat, and then they were trying to do something off of like Enema of the State, and then they tried to do, they try to just bounce all over to all their different eras, in my opinion, and it didn't come off right. And the band, whether they want to admit it or not, were really heavily influenced by Matt Skiba, because you can hear it in their vocal tones and in some of the writing that they had. And I'm not knocking Mark, because Mark had to learn how to sing and play all over again after his battle with cancer. But it just seems like maybe taking on a new album with a lot that you guys are going through and coming back together, and somebody having to learn essentially how to be a musician all over again, maybe it was just too big of a task. And you play what you already know, and you maybe do a couple new things here and there, and it makes it easier. And then maybe consider doing a new album further down the line after you've been out there a while. But it just doesn't come off as a really complete thought, in my opinion.
Well, for those who are listening and maybe are starting to disagree with Matt or getting nervous, I just want to get the record straight in that I actually kind of disagree with a lot of what Matt just said, but let me save that for my review. So Matt, mind counting me down?
3, 2, 1, 8, 2, go.
So yeah, I disagree with Matt on a lot of things. In fact, I would even dare say that songs like Dance With Me, When We Were Young, Other Side, and Bad News in particular, they continue what the band actually was achieving really well with Matt on California, and also failed to do on 9. Creating songs with the right amount of nostalgia without it feeling too forced or too much, with a little bit of sprinkle of modern. And even the songs like Fell in Love and Blink Wave, which Definitely tap into some more of the modern, younger influences. It doesn't feel forced either, and all these songs really feel like a nice addition to the Blink-182 catalog. I actually really quite enjoyed the whole album as the listening experience with all the songs. And I think it's easy to ask yourself, so how is this reunion and comeback album different than what we experienced the first time around in back in 2009 and 2011 with the Neighborhood album? And I think it's quite simple. Throughout the whole album, they actually sound like they are having fun and they actually want to be in the same room and make music together. That all the BS, they just left that aside and they were like, no, let's just focus, which is why I think I disagree with Matt in that I'm glad they didn't wait that much longer. And I think, honestly, if there's a mission statement, that first single is probably One More Time, the title track, really just lays it out, why they're doing this and why it was important for them, despite all of the hardships they experience. And dare I say, I dare anyone who listens to that song to tell me they did not get misty-eyed, or they don't get misty-eyed every time they hear it. It's just a beautiful song. And for better or worse, Blink-182 essentially solidified themselves with this album as 2003's version of dad rock. I know that sounds kind of weird, but whether you've been following the band through every move since Dude Ranch came out, or if you just grew up as a casual listener and hearing a Blink-182 song triggers some fond memories of your youth, I really do believe that One More Time is going to hit that sweet spot.
Dad rock talking about masturbation.
Well, if you're a dad, you can relate to that too. Oh, I'm probably going to get in some sticky problems there. No pun intended. Wink, wink. Masturbation.
Star rating out of 5.
Out of 5. I'm going to give it a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I really like this album.
We essentially traded.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. So yeah, for those who haven't listened to our review of the Rolling Stones' Hackney Diamonds, which you can listen to on any streaming service that you can find at our linked tree page, Matt, you gave it a 5-star ranking, while I gave it a 3-star. And let me also state, I stand by it. I think the Rolling Stones album is phenomenal, or very good, especially considering at their age they have. I really went in not expecting much. With this album, I feel like I just had a lot more of an emotionally pleasing experience listening to this. Like I mentioned before, like there's just a sense of the lyrics and just the songs themselves. Like I got the same joyful feeling listening to songs like Dance With Me and Other Side that I got when I'm listening to some of their bigger hits. There's just something that you listen to it and you can almost, it serves as an amazing soundtrack as you're just kind of envisioning your youthful life. I called Blink-182 this year's version of dad rock. I would say, this is going to be a bold statement. So the Rolling Stones, I would dare say, used to be the kings of dad rock. Now in the year 2023, where Blink-182 is the kings of dad rock now, the Rolling Stones are now the grandpa rock of the year, or yeah. Well, you know what? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me wrong. The Rolling Stones are not the grandpa rock of 2023.
I'll cut this off as the last comment I'm going to make about the Stones on this review, because we've got a whole other one you can go listen to.
That's true. Again, on any streaming platform you can imagine.
They are transcending everything at this point. They are one of the true definitions of rock. If you, in any way, shape, and form, if somebody in the dictionary put a picture next to rock, there would be an actual rock on the side of the road, the Beatles, and the Rolling Stones, and that's it.
I don't disagree with the whole. If you want to have a, like
they're not grandpa rock.
Rock is. Yes, they are. That's it's classic grandpa rock. Yeah, it is. Not. And also, I think transcend is the wrong word, because doing the same, like I said, it's a very good album, but I wouldn't call it transcending rock. It's what I even said this in my review. If you had told me that they had recorded that album in 1981 and it was the leftovers from To You, I wouldn't be surprised. like, it's not transcending anything. I would even dare say, bold
So
statement,
back to this
that, hold on. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting in there, sir. I would even make the argument that actually Blink-182 is transcending pop punk on this album,
No, no
incorporating
way.
their classic sound from their first few albums with some of the more modern flair that Travis Barker's kind of picked up over his time at working with other younger bands. I actually would argue that this is more of a transformative album than the Rolling Stones' Hackney Diamonds.
Mm-mm. No way.
Just
I
the way
don't.
that you even talked about the way that they incorporated some of the new wave sounds on Blink Wave, or even just some of the popular stuff. Well, I
That's
mentioned
great.
this one, but
It's one song
Fell in
though.
Love. I think they incorporated it in multiple songs. I think this is honestly a great balance of the Blink you knew and the Blink that you can get in this year.
I don't know. There's just something about them singing about, well, you're the one that I miss, and you're the one that I love, and this, that. Like, we've heard it before from Blink. Like, can we?
Just like how we heard every guitar riff from the Rolling Stones before.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have.
No, we haven't.
Honestly, I thought Angry was kind of just a ripoff of Start Me Up, but again, not going into that review anymore. But anyway,
No.
listen,
I don't know.
I'm not saying that Blink-182 is completely reinventing the wheel, but I think it is a refreshed album that stands very nicely with the rest of Blink-182's better quality albums in their catalog. This is a lovely addition to it.
A lovely addition to it. Look at you talking youthful and saying it's a lovely addition to their catalog.
Like I said, Dead Rock.
You were trying to put me as the old man in here that I like the Rolling Stones new one, and you thought it was okay.
You like Grandpa Rock. Anyway.
I don't blink on here. I feel like I was excited when I heard the anthem part 3. It's one of my more favorite songs from the Blink catalog, and it was good. It wasn't like, it definitely doesn't take down anthem part 2, but I feel like that's a good song. And like I said, I think they had a lot of balls for putting out One More Time. I really think that was not only from a perspective that it was a single, but just as a song in general, because it's so personal. And it's, is it too soon to talk about that? And it's not, because that's what a lot of this album, in my opinion, was about. And in times it felt relevant and relatable. And a lot of people, I think, will lean on it, especially One More Time, because it is one of those songs that will help you get through some tough times. And it'll help you to sit there and think like, wow, am I just being stupid, or are we just being stupid? Should we just let bygones be bygones, and hell, let's get back together before it is too late? Things like that really are, the songs like that I really enjoy, because that's what Blink is now. Blink isn't, that American Pie band, that is going through that awkward high school phase. They're not that anymore. Hell, the one Travis is with Kim Kardashian, or one of the Kardashians. I don't know which one it is, but with one of the Kardashians. And you can't keep doing stuff like this.
But no, I don't necessarily think it's them going like, oh, let's go act like teenagers. It's kind of the same reason why I love California so much. It's more so reflective of, man, remember when we did this as kids? Or remember, like how silly we were. Like, to me,
it didn't come off like that. California did, though.
I would agree that California did a better job at coming off like that, but I still think that this album felt relatable still. This album did a great job for me, just kind of triggering the emotions and just making me kind of think back to, yeah, man, this is the kind of energy I felt in high school or when I was younger. And it provides the now 30-something dad a little slither of an escape from his adult life. And that's kind of nice, especially when, I don't get to go to as many concerts anymore, or I don't get to really do much on my own. And for the record, I'm very happy and I love my family and I'm so grateful for everything I have. But it's nice to be able to kind of use this Blink-182 album as a 30-minute little escape, or a little, reminder of life of no responsibility. And to me, it's like I can listen to Dance With Me nonstop. I love that song. I think it's just the fun kind of upbeat song that sometimes you kind of just need to get yourself through the morning, especially with everything going on. Not to get too crazy and down the rabbit hole of things, but especially with everything going on in life, just sometimes it's nice to have a mixture of like heartfelt songs like the title track, and also songs that you're like, hey, remember when we were fools and just fell in love for the first time? Simple stuff like that. And to me, that's what makes this album so personal and so relatable and so enjoyable.
I mean, it's fair. I don't know. I just expected, and I think it might just be California gripping me in a way that I don't think very many albums do, but I love California. I would say it's probably one of my top 3 Blink albums.
I think we can all let's make a bold statement here. California was a great Blink-182 album, and Matt got raw end of the deal with the album 9.
I think he just got the raw end of the deal anyway, but be that as it may, I don't know. There's just something about this album that it didn't sit right. Like, I was so excited to listen to this, and then I got into it and I'm like, where are we going with this? Like, why am I listening?
Well,
Like,
would you have preferred that they focused more on the serious stuff or the lighthearted stuff?
I think that they could have done still a mixture, but kind of removed some of, like I said, that trying to be real early Blink-182. Like, I don't think that they're, to me, and this is once again going to be another hot topic, and people are going to be like, oh, you never really like Blink. Like, I think you can do without Turn This Off and Fuckface. There's no reason for those songs to exist on this album.
But California had those songs too. They also had those 30-second goofy moments.
It wasn't that stupid on here,
Yes,
though.
it was.
No, it wasn't.
There was a song where Mark literally goes, I want guys to get naked in a pool.
Okay.
Literally. Like, I would almost argue that this album is actually a perfect companion / sequel to California.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
No way. No way.
Like, I mean, if you want to talk about like the, I don't want goofy stuff. It's like California had that. Like, California was a great balance of everything. And I think this album is just as good at balancing everything. And the difference is that I could definitely see Matt singing on this album too, but it's nice to hear Tom and Mark trade vocals. And I know it seems like it's like not that noticeable, but it's nice. And I definitely do think having Tom in there was a nice touch. And again, I think it also goes back to, I really do feel like you can hear the joy in all three, even when they're talking about sad stuff, you can hear how happy and grateful that they are that they get to have one more time in the studio together.
Agreed. And I'm not discounting that at all, because I think that's one of the things that kind of excels here, but I just don't think it's strong in the catalog of Blink-182. This is not a super strong album.
So you would rank this very low in their catalog. Would you rank this higher than 9?
I would have to put this one notch above 9.
I mean, we agree with that, but I would at least, I think it's a no-brainer that this is better than 9. Not sure if that says much about 9, but I'd even go as far as to say, if you like California, you're going to enjoy this album. And if you like their earlier stuff too, you'll still enjoy this album.
Yes, the early stuff, there's no doubt about it. But I don't know. There's just, like I said, I'm going to say it again, and I think I'm getting repetitive at this point, but there's just something that doesn't strike me right about this album. I think that there's something, I don't know, it's just off for me. I can't put my finger on it.
Well, you know what, Matt? Who are we fooling? None of this really matters. What really matters is who gave the longest review in under 2 minutes. So, Matt, would you like to know your time?
I'm going to guess that my time is 1 minute and 51 seconds.
Your time was literally 2 minutes and 72 of a second over. You just missed it.
I'm going to say that that's on the person who's hitting the stop. So I'm going to say I'm right at 2 minutes.
Nope. Bullshit. Bull crap.
I'm saying that's 2 minutes.
Nope. What did I come in at?
2 minutes, 12 seconds.
I mean, so we both lost then.
Well,
You were over. It's under. Who gives the longest review in under 2 minutes? Not right at 2 minutes.
That's like you get a special prize on The Price is Right if you get it within a certain dollar range, and then
That's
something
not-
more
this
if you
is
get it
not
on the
Price is
nose.
Right.
This is
This
The
ain't
Price is
Price
Right
is
rules.
Right. No, it ain't.
That's literally The Price is Right rules.
What? But we're not doing prices right anyway.
You can't go over.
Well, anyway, everyone who just listened heard two pretty stark differences in opinion on this album. What do you think? Do you agree with Matt that there is something off on this album? Or do you agree with Zach in that it hit all the right spots? Let us know on Facebook, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter. I still can't get used to that. Just call it Twitter. Enough of this X crap, right? Can we all agree? Yeah? Awesome. Thanks. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, if you're on that. Good for you. At Epic Footnote. Also subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Epic Footnote as well, so you can hear more episodes like this, a ton of Blink-182 content actually, and pop punk as well. And once again, thank you to Lucky 13 Beard Co.
Log on to Lucky13, beardco.com. Get some of the finest beard balms and oils on the internet today, and we're giving you a chance to get 10% off of your entire order, including our very own beard balm and oil, the Lemmy. It smells of bourbon, tobacco, cola, and leather. You're going to love it. You're going to love the way you feel. Use the code EFP10 at checkout, Lucky13, beardco.com for all of your finest beard balms and oils that the internet has to offer.
And speaking of this whole, hey, I want to buy stuff. If you want to support us even further, in addition to subscribing to our YouTube channel, go to the link in our bio page on any of our social media channels, and you'll find a link to our merch site. We got cool t-shirts, hats, hoodies, even coffee mugs that have our really cool little logo on it. Not only does it help us make more episodes like this, but it also helps spread the word among all your friends that you listen to a podcast where two guys talk about Blink-182 and a bunch of other cool bands.
So, and masturbation.
And masturbation. Not that often. I just, for the record, before people really get weirded out, it's actually we've just celebrated our 5-year anniversary, and I'm 90% sure this is the first episode where we talked about masturbation for more than 1 minute. I need to fact check that. Anyway, thanks so much for listening, and we hope you join us for another episode real soon.
Does this mean I have to put my pants back on?
No, please keep them off.